Imagine now the family that our Lord leaves behind. Not these lords and ladies and retainers of Don Quixote de la Mancha, but the simple womenfolk of a country squire known as Alonso Quixote. Imagine their shock as news of their master's madness reaches them. To his niece, Antonia, who is worried about its effect on her forthcoming marriage. To his housekeeper of many years, who is worried about even darker matters. To the padre of the local church, who has known Alonso all his life. And shortly there will appear a character whose philosophy may appeal enormously to you. Alonso's niece and the housekeeper rush to the neighborhood church. May we have a church, please? Anguished by this terrible situation, and not unaware of what the neighbors may think, they turn for help and advice to the padre. The padre. But in spite of the trouble which the squire's madness may bring down upon their heads, you may be sure they're only thinking of him. been a man of breeding, intelligence, logic. He's Antonia's fiancé, Dr. Sansón Carrasco, Bachelor of Science, graduate of the University of Salamanca. A man who carries his own self-importance as though afraid of breaking it. You Forgotten that family quarrels have a tendency of getting out of hand. With so much at stake in the game, let us rearrange the pieces. The queen, cunning. The cat, formidable. The bishop, charmingly diagonal. And now, the problem of the night.
Have you heard? On my way here, I was informed by at least 10 people. My dear, your uncle is the laughingstock of the entire neighborhood. Padre, what do you know of this?
Only that the good Signor Quijana has been carried away by his imagination.
Signor Quijana has lost his mind and is suffering from delusion.
Is there a difference?
Exactitude of meaning, Padre. I beg to remind you that I am a doctor.
Please don't argue. We must do something about him.
A little more concerned about us.
What do you mean, us?
Our marriage, my dear. There's a certain embarrassment of having a madman in the family. In the eyes of others.
Oh, come, doctor.
I will not relish claiming a lunatic as uncle!
The innocent must pay for the sins of the guilty.
Guilty of what? A gentle delusion?
Who's to say it was gentle? Who knows what violence he has committed? He was armed.
With sword and lance. Sansón, I had wanted so much for us. For you, really, everything was to be for you. My uncle's house, his land.
True, doctor. In time it would all be yours. After all, if one is to serve science, one must have the means.
Are you a priest or pawnbroker?
What I meant was, consider the challenge.
Challenge?
Think what cleverness it would take to wean this man from madness, to turn him from his course, to persuade him to return home.
That is a challenge.
Impossible.
He can't have gone far.
No more than a day's journey.
Get ready, Padre. We shall go after him. What has we called? What has we called? There is one